How's it going, everybody? I'm the JJ. Welcome back to Anna Mondays. We're going to hop right into it. We're doing Assault on Arkham. 2014's the year, and this is going to coincide with our other review that we're doing this week, which is going to be still in cinema, a sick review, and it's going to be Suicide Squad. I think that's fairly obvious. So our opening is interesting. We have the Riddler, who's not part of the Suicide Squad, talking to Waller, who is obviously the founder. She's the one who creates this initiative. And it's funny because you have the Riddler being the Riddler, and it's, oh, what is this? What is this? Riddle me this. Riddle, riddle, riddle. And he's just bullshitting his way through the conversation. And Waller finally just stops the bullshit and just goes, the answer is your name. Oh, so you must have heard that one before. No, I just have Google like everyone else. I actually really love that line. My main point is I think you can really captivate a regular audience and a comic book audience with this one because it's honestly, it hits both camps. It's just plain captivating. And if you know the characters, it's just extra. Waller's look in this really suffers due to art style. It's really bad, like really bad. Art style isn't bad for some of the other females, but for some reason if you're Waller, you look like Kingpin face-fucked the main villain from Pocahontas. It just really doesn't work. So here's one of my things here, is Riddler gets cornered and Waller's like, yeah, I'm tracking you, I know where you are, blah blah blah, and the Riddler is the Riddler and he knows how to counteract the thing, spoiler alert. So like, why is he so surprised when he's like found? When they actually bust in and it's like, I was just keeping you on the line, which we think is a cool moment, but then it really hits me. The Riddler wouldn't, like, shouldn't he have accounted for this? The Riddler's this type of character where if you walk in and you bust him, his whole, like, MO would be like, yeah, no, you didn't bust me. I actually accounted for this, and you're not as clever as you think you are, trap. Stuff like that always happens. It happens to Batman, who's like a genius and is supposed to, like, actually be a rival to him. So when guys, regular schmucks just bust in, it just feels like, nah, this just feels wrong. Batman makes a Batman-like entrance to claim the Riddler, and you get this cool reveal of Batman being there, where these soldiers are wearing these goggles, and they're looking all around, and it's, what the fuck? What's going on? I hear people dying. And then you turn around, and you just see fucking the Batman, like the oh god. You win. So you have this whole fight scene then with Batman versus the guards, and honestly, there's this thing about it that's just really awkward to me. I should probably move back a little bit. The thing about the fight that's just really awkward to me is the animation. The animation is awkward, it's choppy, it doesn't feel very fluent, it feels like it's like it's worked in increments. It just doesn't grease it up, so to speak, those joints. Really make it move a little smoother, because it really doesn't. Like, it really doesn't. We get a really cool intro to all these characters, and it's very stylish, and it's almost, if you've ever played the game Borderlands, that's another thing I could compare it to. It's got those openings, and this is our character, the name, some information. This is our character, the name, some information. You really get to know, not really get to know, but you get to meet each one of them. That's really what I mean by that. It's a nice intro, and they do it similarly to the live-action one's very similar. I will be comparing some of it, so if you haven't seen the live-action Suicide Squad and you're worried about some spoilers, you might get them here, just a fair warning. Killer Frost is robbing banks. King Shark is in a blood tub in like a cheap motel-looking area. Black Spider is pulling a dead shot and just killing people, it looks like, for money. Captain Boomerang's beating on people in jail. KG Beast, that is the best fucking name ever. That and Mother Russia from, like, Kick-Ass. I want them to team up so bad. But KG Beast is being arrested while he's attacking, for Mother Russia. The place, not the woman. Harley's, well, being Harley. She's biting people's ears off with this cute music on and playing her Game Boy, and it's just very, very Harley. There's a reason that she stuck around after being introduced in the animated series. If you didn't know, that's where she was introduced in the Batman animated series. And she just has this fucking special place in all Batman fans' hearts. And it's for a reason, and this movie shows it. And honestly, so does the live-action one. No matter what the Harley is like, you are going to enjoy the ride, and that is a pun. Deadshot, back to this, Deadshot is escaping confinement. They're all given a fun intro, and I personally liked Harley's the most, in case you couldn't tell. And I don't normally like electronic dubstep dance music like that, but like the way that they really played it to certain scenes. some of them really worked well. This action scene at the beginning, I really liked that. Surprisingly so, because again, I'm really not a fan of that. In most cases, it's really not that good, but when you're high energy and you're really doing fast-paced action like this, and for some reason it just clicks. I don't know why. And it's not all action. It's just certain scenes really manage to click with that, and this was one of them. So they all have this moment of just going out, and they come back in, and they're in this room, this white room, with like nothing in it. And they're all just questioning, oh shit, how did we get here? Well, most of them are. Some of them are like, yeah, fuck, been through this before. And this is when it hit me. Waller? Because Waller did all this. Waller's fucking Jigsaw. Amanda Jigsaw Waller. Also, wasn't there a chick in Jigsaw named Amanda who ends up becoming one of their... I mean, I know it doesn't look... It's not the same but that's just coincidence. And when they wake up in this room, we start explaining the plot. Suicide Squad, we're gonna send you guys on this mission. You need to basically, it's an assault on Arkham. Get it? But yeah, we're sending them into Arkham where we're doing this again. It's a mission that, hey, you're all expendable. If something goes wrong, we drop it. We had nothing to do with you. It's basically the movie trailers to the live action. If you've seen that, that's what we get here. It's that exposition. I really like Deadshot's like leading feeling in both of them, the live action and this. He just feels like the perfect team leader. And you'd argue, hey, why not Harley? She has like a lot of exposure and is beloved. Harley is best as like a character who's fighting to become a solitary character, who's fighting to become like competent on her own, but she's always, because of Joker, leaning on other people. Joker, Ivy, Deadshot in this case. So it's just, out of all the people to really pick, Deadshot really is like the best one to be leading this team. And he's also, as we'll find out, really competent in this movie, and I like that. I like competent villains. The only problem with comics is one week this guy's really competent, the next he's a joke, and the next he could be competent for the first panel, but then the rest of it is about a different villain. Like in the live-action movie, Waller, to show she's fucking dead serious, kills one of them pretty early in the movie. There's a lot of parallels here between this movie and the live-action one. One case it's Slipknot, in the other case it's KG Beast. No! Why did it have to be him? His name will go on in the legends forever. I'd really like to bring up how much Waller is the antagonist to antagonists. She is doing things for the greater good, or at least so she says. We don't know for sure what her mind is, or what the plot's eventually going to turn into. But Waller is like supposedly doing this for people. She's saving. We want to stop the next Superman from being a potential Red Sun Superman, if you know what I mean. So I like that. She's kind of a protagonist there. She's kind of what you want your main character to be, doing things for the right reasons. But since our protagonists in this case are antagonists, this is going to be a little confusing to follow. She is the antagonist to our antagonists. My point is, I like that she's a good guy, kind of, sort of, but then she's a bad guy because our good guys in this are bad guys. Again, damn, that is just not... Harley in this movie, and in this one, are very much herself. She's very much Harley, and that just means we're going to enjoy the shit out of her character. If you find it annoying in areas, that's the point. Harley is supposed to come across as grating, which is also why I love her. Her character does it well, but to me personally, and a nice group of others, we love her. There's probably some people out there who hate her, but again, that's a success in the character because she's supposed to be grating. But she's herself in this movie. Everything works really well in this animated feature. Under the confinement cells. Good times. I love that line. I love the Yahtzee! Though that is definitely played way too much. Then we have that one moment of Harley and Killer Frost. They play well off of each other, a lot of the people, most of the time. Again, there's some rare occasions, but you have Harley who's, oh, we're done, he's a jerk. And then it cuts to Killer Frost. Yeah, no, I buy that. On the helicopter, the way these characters interact is touch and go. For example, King Shark's smile to Killer Frost. I really enjoy their relationship, and they seem like they're building to something, and it's all, spoiler alert for this own movie, it's building to nothing, guys. Building to cheapness, that's what it's building to, and I'll get to that when we get to it, but I really, it's just, there's awkward moments here, that, like, again, that smile. I get that maybe that's supposed to replicate awkwardness in meeting each other at first, but it's not that interesting to watch. It just kind of makes it seem like, oh boy, this dialogue is going to be spotty. And it's not the only point in the movie that it happens, so I'm not exactly sure if it is just to replicate that awkwardness. So we have the scene of Deadshot saying to Waller, look, if you're fair about this, I'm gonna shoot straight. But if you try to screw me, I'm gonna kill you. And, like, literally, the next fucking scene, Waller's like, I'm showing you, I have string, you're my puppets, I could kill you at any time, I could snip those strings. She doesn't deploy the fucking parachute, and that is the dumbest fucking thing as they are descending. It is the dumbest thing. He just said this to you. You have a chance to convert him to your side completely. I'll shoot straight, but don't fuck with, and she fucks with them. What is the thought process here? That's even dumber because you would have killed Killer Frost, and she was super useful to you later. So, what? So we get a really cheap confrontation between Deadshot and Boomerang. Like that whole, yeah, that's what I thought cliche happens, because that needs to happen. It just does. If action's in your movie and you have two conflicting characters, I mean, you just have to, by law, include that. We get a cool cameo from Penguin. Probably the only one in this movie I think is genuine and, like, kind of works. But at the same time, it's not needed. You really could have had Waller be their contact giver, since she works for the fucking government and would have ties to that. And the plan itself, you don't need Penguin's help at all. It was just, like, you get caught, you infiltrate as a guard, you do this. Fucking Ocean's 11 Suicide Squad edition. But I do like the stop to the easy progression. Like, there's this one moment of just like, hey, we're gonna do this without a problem, and then he sees Harley and it's just, hey, what is she doing here? You took my bus of cigarettes or whatever and rammed them into the river because you were bored. Sounds like a Joker and Harley thing to do. But I just love that they show all those bridges burnt by Harley and Joker, and it's just it's not just gonna go away. You could argue though, again, that really doesn't go anywhere. It's just like, hey, Deadshot, talk your way out of this. The end. Okay, we diffused the situation. Big deal, right? No, not really. Just kind of happened and then ended. I think it's really fun seeing two sharpshooters play darts. I think that's really fun. You have Boomerang, who throws his boomerangs and is a sharpshooter, and then you have Deadshot, who doesn't miss. Though, again, a negative behind that positive. I hate that I keep having to bring these up. Why would Boomerang ever fucking challenge Deadshot to it? Deadshot, like, doesn't miss. Like, that's his entire thing, is not missing. So we set this weird underlying plot line that we don't really know about until later about Waller and Frost. Again, Frost, if you'd killed her, this wouldn't have been able to happen. She was useful to you. The scene that they do it in, it's like, hey, we have this scene, and then we cut to Killer Frost walking, talking to Waller for, like, literally 10 seconds, and then we cut right to something else that has nothing to do with that. That's not good. You're not supposed to do that in filmmaking. It's very easy to just have handed something else to Frost. Hell, if you were building the whole Frost-Shark relationship, have Frost on her own, walking, talking to Waller, just, okay, have it go silent on Waller's end, so you just shift camera angles, pan out, and you see her listening, gotcha. And then have her continue walking to King Shark. And then you have a conversation between them, a small thing to develop their relationship. So Deadshot and Harley bone, that happens in this movie. And you know what? It's honestly okay, and all I'm going to say is it's much better than the Killing Joke, so I'll let that sex scene go. They have Batman collide with our current story to set up like a plotline of Joker hiding this bomb, and that it just like busts in out of nowhere, like Batman does, and I kind of like that. It's his storyline literally just interjects with him, just poof. Oh, you're doing something? You need private time? Boom, Batman! I really think that the mess in this one isn't that hard to follow. There is a lot going on, but it's like, okay, so this is happening because of this, and then this is happening with this, and this is happening with this. And then you might forget something now, but when they bring it back up, you're like, oh, okay, right, that was set up before. That's fine. I got it. It's not hard to follow. I followed everything very cleanly in this. One of the best parts of this movie was Killer Frost has the line, Joker's got a dirty bomb. Gives me the chills. And then you just see Boomerang. Really? Ice puns? Really? And then they just go back to listening to Waller. It was just a small interruption, but it was like the comedic interruption. It was meant to be an interruption, and it was genuinely funny. It also feels like a direct stab at fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger. Here is Sub-Zero! Yeah. Batman and Robin wasn't the best movie, was it, guys? My problem with them doing the whole Ocean's 11 and, like, dressing up as guards, does nobody really recognize them in a prison that frequently deals with them? Like, really? Like, that just seems a little unbelievable to me. This is just me, but I really don't like, in both this and the live action again, I really don't like that whole interjecting Joker. It comes out of nowhere, and it just doesn't work for me. It's like, we're just learning to love these characters. We already love Joker. Keep him out of this. Let's love this fucking group of characters. And let's get into the Joker. Women, am I right? Can't live with them. Can't kick them out of a moving car. I love Troy Baker's Joker. It's so good. It's really, really close to Mark Hamill. The closest 99.9% match. Around this time in the movie, we're well into the movie. We're seeing them, like, again, infiltrate Arkham. This is a really cool heist movie. Like, this needs to be mentioned with other heist movies. Despite being animated, I don't think that should handicap it. I really think this is a fun heist movie. And each person plays a better role than you think they would. Again, maybe not so much King Shark. At the very least, they're setting up this romance with King Shark and Killer Frost. Not for the best fucking reasons. Not for the best. So they do the classic slow-mo walk to the music, but the animation and, like, stationary camera, it, like, switches once, but, like, the way they hold it on one shot and then switch to the other and show the back, it really doesn't translate well in animation. I don't know if that's this animation team. I'm being honest, I genuinely can't tell if it's just this animation team that did wrong on it, or if that maybe just doesn't translate to animation. That might be just a live-action visual shot. Sometimes they just don't translate. This might be one of them. So they force a moment for Shark to wipe out an entire group, which is a cool scene and all, and you get to see the whole group actually fight, but Shark is the one that actually has, like, the moment to shine. Oh, a whole group finally. But again, it's all happening because of Deadshot and Boomerang's annoying feud, which again just feels forced. It just feels set up so that they can have these hurdles along the way. It just is no, especially considering how willing Boomerang was. Like, oh, you want 10 years off my sentence? All right, I'll do it. Like the live action. I feel like Harley and Deadshot's relationship in this, really well done. They blend really well together. I think that's probably the best relationship in both of these. Best character relationship, but in this case, actual relationship. The way they get around doing what they want here is they play the yesterday's tapes over the camera feed, so that if Batman or Waller looks, it's just, oh, okay, well, everything's fine. I see no problems. Though, again, they probably should have thought of Waller's tracking them. I have you tracked in the courtyard. That's done later. Like, why did they not think of that? Did they just not care? It's kind of a major flaw. But Batman sees the tapes, instantly knows, that's Raoul. He only works on Thursdays. It's like, what the fuck, man? How do you know? And it's Friday. Like, you can't know how everybody... This is the Thursday shift. This is ridiculous. That's what this is. One scene that I felt like needed a bit more setup, and that's when Deadshot, like, turns on Harley and the rest of the group, and he like, kind of has that, like, lost his way moment and just pushes her away and just, get away from me. It didn't feel earned. It just felt really cheap, and, like, I get what they were doing there, and it all would make sense with a little bit more time of cultivation, but it just was... They pulled the trigger too early on it. Deadshot. So we get references to Killer Moth, Firefly, Maxie Zeus, Scarface, some Joker stuff. We just get a shit ton of, like, fan service in like, the evidence room when we get there. And it makes sense, because it's the evidence room. If there's a place to put it, it fits here. But again, it is indeed just fan service. We get a great line from Killer Shark, though. Maxie Zeus, Killer Moth, Firefly. Never heard of any of these tools before. Fucking gold. Booster gold. Yeah, I'll see myself out now. So this is the perfect scene to have Batman actually interject and just literally bust in and start punching them and fighting them. This was the perfect point. There was a lull. We needed something to actually, you know, pick up the moment. It interrupts something like it actually interrupts well, not just interrupting a point that didn't need to be interrupted. And it's perfect Batman timing, because on Batman's side, the psychology is, I don't want to do it when they're willing, I want to do it when they're least expecting it. It all works really well, and yeah, it also gives Killer Frost and Shark time to cultivate their bond and fight Batman together and have that moment of just trying to overcome this gigantic hurdle. This was my thought when I first watched this. I really enjoyed seeing Black Spider, beat Batman. They handle it really well. Also, in all fairness, they lose right after, so you're like, oh, when he opens the thing, oh, I don't have that. Oh, shit. That's clever. So they lose, they don't seem untouchable, but they beat Batman. Holy shit, they beat Batman. I thought that was really ballsy. I would have liked that move. I like what they do even better. But just having Black Spider come out with the belt, just the Batman iconic belt, is fucking in the smoke, is badass. And they all just realize it. They're... Whoa, I'm getting fucking chills, man. I got choked up a little bit. I think that was actually one of the lines. That's bitch! How dare she!" Just sitting in a cell, stooling, and he's just saying so many fucked up lines, and it's just like, "I'll get her back. I'll make 4 of her. I'll take her skin off and put someone else in it." That whole scene, though, is just a great look into the fucked up mind of the Joker. You really get, in some odd ways, he's like a child with his jealousy and pettiness, but in other ways, he's so inherently non-innocent that you can't say he's childlike. So it's just the weirdest blend. Frost goes to make an example of the Riddler, but Riddler basically diffuses that by saying he can defuse the bombs. So now we moved the goalpost again. My only problem with that whole thing is, why didn't Waller send someone who she was 100% sure wasn't going to ask questions? Someone like Deadshot probably would have just shot first, asked questions later. Or even Black Spider, who was killing people at the beginning of like nothing. Killer Shark, who's a little on the stupider side, so maybe I said stupider, so I'm joining him. But the point is, why send someone that you know could potentially ask questions and then get sidetracked and brought to the other side? Doesn't really make much sense to me. We find out Harley actually set up the Joker to escape, and we have this amazing line of Joker walking out, "You know, I actually take back half the horrible things I've done to her." So Waller realizes she's almost being screwed. Riddler is actually doing shock therapy. He's going to fry the bombs out of their head. Looks like it worked. Waller pushes the button. Killer Shark's head explodes. And their excuse, which is so fucking flimsy, is so fucking flimsy. It's funny I mentioned flimsy since his skin is the opposite. "Oh, his skin is too thick. Oh, I didn't account for that." See, no, I'll tell you the fucking real reason. The whole point of this, the whole point of their relationship building for the entire, was to have this actually be an impact moment. This wasn't an impact moment because you didn't cultivate enough of their actual relationship, him and Frost. And you know what? The more I think about it, the more I feel, wow, that was really fucking cheap. That was cheap sympathy. I really don't appreciate cheap fucking writing. You see, Black Spider's not in the chair yet, so you're probably questioning, like, wait, what the fuck? Shouldn't his head be exploding too? Then it cuts to Batman, who randomly has been shown walking in a hallway. I was gonna bitch about that, but I crossed that off because that was for an actual reason, and it actually kind of worked in a weird way. You couldn't show a lot of it because then the reveal's ruined. Turns out, Batman beat Black Spider, put on Black Spider shit, and then was parading around as Black Spider, and made Black Spider beaten parade around as Batman. And again, speaking of cool reveals, the Batman reveal, that was really cool. Not gonna lie, really well done. So was the bomb reveal. I thought that was really clever to have Harley, like, kind of the Joker in the back of her head the entire time, grab the mallet that she knew was the thing they were looking for. The bomb was hidden in the mallet. That's just really clever. And then have it, you know, actually come to fruition later. She was holding it the entire time. And there was a couple scenes in the movie that I'm like, why is she still holding that? It's unnecessary. I believe there's even a scene where she, like, looks at it, and it almost seems like she's, like, contemplating, should I put it down? No, she's holding onto it for a reason, and it makes a lot of sense in the end. It's around this time that the movie entirely falls apart in its third act, and it just becomes everything thrown at you at once. And by that I mean, like, hey, you think these guys weren't, like, enough villain power? Okay, well, let's just, again, throw everything at you. Let's get cameos and chaos from Two-Face, Scarecrow, Bane, Poison Ivy. Let's throw Commissioner Gordon and a group of the GCPD in there. Let's just have this big organized thing. What does any of this have to fucking do with our actual group of Suicide Squad members? Nothing. So Frost is, like, semi-playing against them at this point, and I'm a little confused on this, to be honest. It's like, everyone in the third act is just like, hey, let's all just fucking betray each other, fuck it. And I get it, they're villains, I know, but the movie is portraying them as the heroes we're following in this particular story, so to just have them, in the end, just kind of dissolve is just terrible to me. It's just not, it's not interesting, it doesn't work. Unless you 100% set it up throughout the entire thing, it just doesn't work. Well, again, they all crumble as a team when the copter arrives. Why? There are plenty of seats. You all could have worked together, got on the chopper, left, your bombs are all defused, everything would have been fine. No, we don't do that, though. We needed a third act to be chaotic and a climax, so, you know, let's push it there unorganically. But yeah, having Joker and Harley appear right after that, just to be like, hey, another reveal, there was another person on the copter, this is ours now, that is so much less believable, because we just fucking had one. How many people, again, are on this fucking copter? And why can't you all drive it together? Land, and then kill each other. Does being a villain mean you're absolutely stupid and can't think, like, logically? The whole copter scene eventually crashes, kind of like the plot does, and it devolves into Joker versus Red Shot and Harley versus Batman in two parallel scenes going on. You have them fight. I do feel like I know Batman fights villains. Harley's a villain. I know. I'm a fan. I get it. But it just feels like, hey, Harley has no one to fight. Have Batman fight her. Because like the whole thing is earned between Joker and Deadshot, and it would be earned if it was Joker and Batman, and it would be earned if it was Deadshot and Batman, but we've really set nothing up in this movie for Harley. If anything, Harley set up like a positive thing with Batman. Like, no, I'm good. I wasn't lying about the whole, like, I'm not doing this for the bomb thing. Also, whoa, that just hit me. How did she fucking do that? Because she knew about the bomb. Whoa, that's a load of shit. Go back and add that complaint to before. Having Joker almost beat Deadshot, I was getting a little worried. And I love the Joker. Joker's one of my favorite villains. You can't really be a fan of comics and not understand, or at least semi-get why people like Joker. That being said, I didn't want him to beat Deadshot in this. Again, the people we're following need to overcome something. We need to have an actual thing here. So we have Waller in office, and you see a red dot sight appear on her chest, and it starts moving its way up towards her head. And it's just this weird scene of just like, did he shoot her? Did he not shoot her? He just says the word bang. You know it's Deadshot even before they pan to him. But then when they do, he's just sitting with his daughter on like luggage like he's about to go on vacation. Him going on vacation, or like the luggage and stuff, and his daughter being close to him, it all makes it seem like he's going to shoot her and try and leave. So does he actually shoot her like he says he's going to do, or is he just showing her that, hey, I said I was going to do it, I can do it, and here it could be done anytime, boom, I'm proving it to you. But then if that's the case, you didn't have to like make it appear that way, that he was actually going to do it, and you could have just shown, you could have just actually had the gunshot go off with the black screen or whatever. Could have been more clear-cut either way. Either way, it's a fail. If he did shoot her, that's something you need to see a payback for. That's the fucking final payoff for him. At the very least, again, go to black and hear the gunshot. So, boom, okay, get it. Not just him go, bang. Because by him just going bang, it honestly just seems like he didn't pull the trigger. But anyway, that's all I really got for you this week. If you can, like and subscribe. If you can, comment below. Next week, we're going to start that whole marathon thing. I figure I'd give us an extra week. Maybe someone will vote. I don't think we got a vote yet. If nobody does vote, I'm just going to pull out of a hat one of the two options, and we'll just do it that way. No big deal. I just thought it'd be fun if we could potentially open up votes and stuff. I'd like to do that in the near future if you guys are willing. If you can, join us later in the week for Suicide Squad, a 6 Saturday review we're doing. And it's going to be, instead of a Filmography Friday, I know we should have done this one this week, but I wanted to do this. It was my birthday week, by the way. That's why we're doing this. And I just have a lot I want to mention about it, so we'll just throw it in there. And, yeah. By the way, you probably thought you've heard a lot about it in this one. You probably heard about a paragraph's worth. You're going to hear a lot about it on Saturday. So yeah, that's all I really got this week, and I'm not going to kill you. I'm just going to hurt you. And your vision of the Joker really, really badly.